The problem is when we are just remorseful, often we continue in the sin without victory. Okay, so the question is, does our remorse count for anything in the eyes of God? Well, first, before I answer that question, I want to ask what causes this dilemma, because it is a very real dilemma that many Christians have, and that is when we are remorseful but we continue in the sin without victory. Okay, what causes this? I'm going to go through, I think, about 5 points of what causes this. There's several lies that we believe. The first lie is that often Satan sets us up for at baptism is that resisting temptation will never get easier. That's a lie. Resisting temptation is like building muscles. You know, as you build muscles, you tear your muscles down, you build them back up, you give them a rest, you build them back up, you get stronger. Okay, resisting temptation is the same way. But often what the lie that Satan will tell us is that, you know, this is never going to get any easier. It's always going to be as tough as it is the day you came out of baptism, from the waters of baptism. Resisting temptation will never, ever get any easier. Okay, that's a lie that sets us up for failure. Because we believe the lie. It's never going to get any easier, so I might as well just yield to it. It's like the saying, you know, I can resist all things except temptation. So I might as well just give into it, because it's never going to get any easier. Okay, that's a lie. Lie number one is that it's never going to get any easier. Resisting temptation, it will never get any easier. That's a lie. It's like building muscles. As you resist, you get stronger. Okay. Lie number two is that, and we're told that we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Now, this is how he works. Once the temptation, when you have the temptation, he will minimize it. Satan will. He'll say, look, everybody's doing that. Your neighbors, your family members, you watch TV, sitcoms, whatever, you read novelty books. Everybody, when you're tempted, he will minimize the sin. Once you commit the sin, he maximizes it and says you are the worst person on, how could you're not a Christian. You know, Satan is referred to as the accuser of the brethren, and he will tell you you're the most rotten, filthiest person in the world. He will maximize our sin once we commit the sin, you see. So you need to be aware of that, of the power of minimizing it. You know, anytime you are minimizing your sin and saying, well, it's not that bad that if I do this, you're under the sway of the evil one. Number three, the dilemma that causes this is that we don't acknowledge our natural behavior or the carnal mind. Okay, we don't acknowledge it, what we're dealing with. You know, Paul will talk about in Romans 7 and verse 19, he will say, look, for the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I do, which I would not, that I do. They say this was written some 20 years into his ministry. You know, this is not a newbie, just come up out of the waters of baptism. This is Paul talking about, he's still struggling here, okay? We're told in Jeremiah 17 and verse 9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? And the Lord searches the heart and tries the reins to give to every man according to his ways and according to his fruits. So the acknowledgement of the carnal mind is really very important. What you're up against, you know, this natural mind that is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. And the good that you want to do, you know, I want to do this, but I can't seem to have the ability to do it. Okay, you need to know what you're up against. Now,
check us out on the web at isthatreallyinthebible.com.